So hello buddy, we are going to discuss the framing the constitution, the beginning of new era. These are NCERT textbook questions and all the questions and answers are written and I am going to read for you. So first question is, what were the ideals expressed in the objective resolutions? What was objective resolution? So Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru presented the objective resolution in Constitution Assembly on 13 December 1946, and the objective resolutions give a brief account of the ideals and objectives of the constitutions. What were the ideals and objectives? First was India was declared an independent sovereign republic. It was the first time in objective resolutions. Justice, equality, fraternity were assured to all the citizens of India, and adequate safeguards were provided to minorities. It was also referred to the well-being of backward and depressed classes, and that this resolution was made an objective that India would combine the liberal ideas of democracy with the socialist idea of economic justice, and the objective resolutions adopt the form of government which would be acceptable to its people. No imposition from the British would be acceptable by the people of India, and India would work for the peace and human welfare. So these were the ideals expressed in objective resolution. Now coming back to second question, going to second question. So how was the term minority defined by different groups? So first, the answer of this question is N.G. Ranga. He was socialist who had been a leader of peasant movement, argued that the term minority be interpreted in economic terms. And I am also feeling that the minority should not be on the basis of caste, religion, and what we have today. It should be based on the economic terms. Today we have two class, one is poor and one is riches. So the real minorities were the poor and the downtrodden. Some considered that the real minorities were the masses of the country who lived so depressed and oppressed that they were not able to take advantage of the ordinary civil rights. So Singh spoke eloquently on the need of protect the tribes, ensures conditions that would help them come up with the level of general population. So for some, the minority, they were considering that this it should be on the economic level. Some were considering that on the level of the opportunity they have. For example, the oppressed people and the tribal area, they should be minorities. So these were some of the definitions by different groups. Now going to third question, what were the arguments in favor of great powers to the provinces? Very important question. So answer is A.K. Santharam. He was a member of Madras, defended the rights of state in the Constituent Assembly. K. Santharam emphasizes the need to strengthen the state, and K. Santharam was not in favor of vesting more powers to the center. He was one of the opinion that the center would not be able to perform its duties efficiently in case it is overburdened by duties, and the center will become automatically strong if all states are made strong. And he advocated that the center should be given less power and the state should be given more power. He proposed allocation of power between the center and the state, and it is also a matter of concern for K. Shantaram. He felt that such a distribution of power would cripple the state. So these were some of the arguments in favor of great powers to the provinces. Now talking about why did Mahatma Gandhi, think Hindustani should be the national language? And I too think that there should be a compromisation by the North Indian people, leader of the North Indian, but they become very arrogant. So let's go into the answer. In view of Mahatma Gandhi, the Hindustani was language that the common people could easily understand. Hindustani was a blend of Hindi and Urdu, and it was also popular among large section of the people. Moreover, it was the composite language enriched by interaction of diverse culture, words and terms from many different languages. And words from many different languages got incorporated into the Hindustani language over the years. So it made this language easy understandable by people from the various regions of India. So according to Mahatma Gandhi, Hindustani would be the ideal language for communication between the communities. And Hindustani would help to unify Hindus and Muslims and the people from north to south. Language came to be associated with the politics of religious identities from the end of the 19th century, but Mahatma Gandhi retained his faith in the composite charter of Hindustani. So I think he was very visionary leader, and the Hindustani, if that had been our language, then that could have been better. And now we have come going to fifth question. What historical forces shaped the vision of constitution? So there were forces, some historical forces that will influence the vision of constitution. Certainly, basic values were accepted by national leaders as a result of Nehru report. So Nehru report was a historical force, and fundamental rights resolution passed by Karachi session in the Indian National Congress, and universal adult franchise, right to freedom, equality, and protection of minority rights were the basic values. After the result of 1937 election, the Congress and the other political parties were able to form governments in the provinces. This experience with legislative and political institutions helped in developing an agreement over institutional design. Many colonial laws were also the source of Indian constitution. Now, Government of India Act 1935 was taken as it is, I think. This way, the Indian constitution adopted many institutional details, procedures from colonial laws. The French Revolution also inspired the makers of constitution. The working of parliamentary democracy in Britain and the Bill of Rights in USA were the inspiration for the in front of maker of constitution. So this was all about the historical forces behind the vision of constitution of India. Then we have discussed the different arguments made in favor of protection of oppressed groups. So, talking about arguments in favor of protection of oppressed groups, it was felt that oppressed classes like tribals and untouchables require special attention and safeguards to enable them to raise their status and come to level to the general population. As tribals were regarded backward, they were not accepted well in society. They were almost rejected for rejected for their upliftment. They were required to be assimilated in the society. They were also required to be brought in the mainstream of the society, so special protection and care were offered to them. In case of untouchable, society treated them as laborers. Society uses their services but not given them respectable positions. Untouchables were treated as outcasts and kept isolated. These sufferings were due to their systematic marginalizations. This marginalization was not as natural; it was systematic by the upper caste people. And land of the tribals have been sophisticated, confiscated, and had been deprived on the forces of forest and pastures. Tribals and untouchables had no access to education by that time. They did not take part in the administration, so some legislations were required to improve their conditions. Now, talking to question number 7, what connection did some of the member of Constitutional Assembly make between the political situation of the time and need for a strong center? So, on 15 1947, India became independent from British rule. It was declared an independent country, but this independence was painful also. India was divided into Pakistan. As Pakistan was born, the partition married with communal violence. Many leaders like Pandit Nehru and Ambedkar favored a strong central government of India, and because in their view they referred riots and violence that were ripping in the nation apart, and they felt that a strong center was need of the hour. Most of the members of the Constituent Assembly also supported this view, and any deviation from this might jeopardize the interest of the nation. Peace, prosperity, and political stability was not possible in case of weak center. It would fail to coordinate vital matter of common concern. So, Mr. Gopal Swami Iyengar appealed to all the members of Constitutional Assembly that center should be made as strong as possible. It was also felt that only a strong united center could plan for well-being of the country. Balakrishna Sharma stated in similar view. It was also felt that it would mobilize all the resources, ensure a strong defense against any aggression, or stabilize a proper administration. Almost all the members of Constitutional Assembly supported a strong central government. Then it was felt that it is necessary to check chaos, communal violence, and to assure economic developments of the country. So these were some of the debates. Now talking about question 8, how did the Constitutional Assembly seek to resolve the language controversy? Language controversy was very big at that time and it is very important. India is a very big country at that time also. There were large sections based on the language, groups and provincial states. It has many different regions, different varieties of people live here and speak different languages. So for a new nation like India, it was necessary to give proper attention to the interests of different languages. So at that time, Hindustani was you can say popular, and most of the people speak Hindustani. It was a mixture of Hindi and Urdu. Hindustani was a choice for the Congress and Mahatma Gandhi. Congress had already decided to adopt Hindustani as a national language of a country. Mr. Gandhi was also in favor of adopting Hindustani as a national language and supported strongly for this view. He argued that everyone should speak in a language which is understood by most of the common people. Hindustani was not a new language, it was a blend of Hindi and Urdu. It was enriched by the inflection of diverse cultures and spoken by most of the people of the country. Hindi, R.V. Dhulekar, note the name R.V. Dhulekar, pleaded in favor for Hindi for adopting it as a national language. He came from United Provinces, from Uttar Pradesh, I think, and he was a congressman. He wanted that Hindi should be used as language of constitution making. He even said that those who do not know Hindustani were not worthy to be the member of Constitution Assembly. So, report of the Language Committee. There was a formation of a Language Committee. The Language Committee of the Constitution Assembly suggested a compromise formula in its reports. It suggested that Hindi in Devanagari script should be the official language of the country, and we should try to resolve the issue. The committee suggested that transition from English to Hindi should be gradual. It was not suggested that during first 15 years since adoption of the constitution, English would continue to serve for political or official purposes. So it was clear that the language committee referred Hindi as the official language, not as a national language. It was our official language. There were threat to South. So members of the Constitution Assembly who belonged to the South India were apprehended by this view because the leader of the provincial, you can say the संयुक्त प्रांत के जो लीडर्स थे, द लीडर ऑफ द उत्तर प्रदेश एंड कांग्रेसमैन हु केम फ्रॉम द नॉर्थर्न रीजन, हिंदी दे बिकम वेरी हॉस्टाइल. They were like, oh, make Hindi national language now, we don't care. So this was, but they were not ready to compromise. If they have been soft, then I think Hindi would have been our national language even today now. So they felt that Hindi would be a threat to their provincial languages. Shankar Rao from Bombay, T. A. Ramalingam, Chettiar, Mr. G. Durgabai of Madras suggested that it is an issue of language, required utmost care and needed to be handled efficiently and dexterously. Hindi should not be thrust upon the people of South India. So it is all the details, and we have gone through the NCERT textbook questions of framing the constitution, the beginning of the new era. So signing off.